Welcome to Logos in the Chaos. Today I want to talk to you about putting greed and impatience to death so that you can be truly blessed and happy as God intends you to be. This morning in my prayer time, I was meditating on how to get my life to a better place, and I recognized that I'm susceptible to this thing of greed and impatience, especially if you know the Enneagram. I'm an Enneagram 7, so that is a particular battle for me, but I think it's a battle for everybody, all types of personalities in one way or another. And, we're fighting our classic three enemies: the world, the flesh or the sinful nature, and the devil. And they all push us to want it all and have more and have it immediately. You all know this Queen song.
I want it all, and I want it now.
I want it all, and I want it now. And that really summarizes the spirit of the age. And when we're experiencing this impulse or this desire or this drive to have more than we need and have it sooner than we need, it's because we are seeking happiness, and it is promising us happiness. When the advertisers are saying, you can have all of this and just order it, it can be delivered right away. It's a promise of happiness, but we know it never delivers. It produces the opposite. It actually produces sorrow and emptiness and brokenness. We see this is an age-old problem, going right back to the original sin, the fall, and we've been struggling with this our whole existence as a human race. And Paul talks about these kind of problems in Romans 7, from verses 15 to 19. He says, I do not understand what I do. What I want to do, I do not do. But what I hate, I do. And he says in verse 18, I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing. So you see two sides of the same coin, doing too much of certain things and not doing enough of other things. And I would call this two forms of greed. I would call it active and inverted greed. So active greed is doing too much social media, too much food, too much sleep, too much anxiety, too many words. And the inverted one is not doing enough, not enough prayer, not enough love, not enough exercise, not enough planning, and they go together, because when you do too much of something, you usually take that time, energy, and money from another place. For example, if you spent all night watching social media, you didn't get ready for the next day. You didn't do certain things you meant to do. You didn't print the documents you needed for that meeting. And the next morning you are running around trying to catch up, shouting, saying, where's the printer cable, etc. You should have done this all before, but you couldn't because you were too busy doing other stuff. Or if you spent too much money in one area, now you're struggling. You can't tithe. Your kids can't get some of the things they need, etc., etc. They're connected. So now the point of all of this is not to get all condemned. Okay, God knows that we can't fix ourselves. So beating yourself up is not at all the point. But recognizing the problem is the first stage. And then taking this recognition to God and saying, okay, God, what do we do about this? And it's by grace, in the power of the Holy Spirit. It's not by self-effort in the law. So let's look at these verses as a way to get going. And how the rest is going to work out, that's your relation with God. He's going to show you in this great adventure of your salvation. Firstly, it's by grace. Romans 6:14 says, sin shall no longer be your master, because you're not under the law, but under grace. And in Colossians 3:5, it's by the Holy Spirit. Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature: sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. Because of these, the wrath of God is coming. And Romans 8:12, therefore, brothers and sisters, we have an obligation, but it is not to the flesh to live according to it. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the misdeeds of the body, you will live. So let's take this spirit, this attitude, this advertising promise that is shoved down our throats. You can have it all and you can have it now. And let's tell the purveyors of it where to stuff it. Let's send it straight back where it came from. Am I the only one that can smell sulfur?